about this plan of yours?
Well, Sam, hit it.
As we've seen over the last 10 years, it's become, I can't tell, maybe some of you are in this exact scenario, but I can't tell you how many people I've met and continue to see at conventions who are like, I met my best friend at Houston or Dallas Con 08 or at Burbank Con 09, and we've been best friends ever since. I met him at Audition Con 04. Supernatural Network
Supernatural Con, Testing Network,
yeah,
Studio Con.
January '05. Was it January '05? 10 years since we met.
There were two things to the first one that was anybody there at the Supernatural? It was kind of a multi-show Rogue in Coventry, I think it was. Anybody? Was that it was a silent? Yeah, you were there. Yeah. So that was my first one, and two things that stand out to me about that one. One was there was multiple shows represented. I think Smallville, I think Angel, Buffy,
Supernatural.
Supernatural, but this was literally after our first season, and all of these other shows had been on for a long time and had a well-established audience. And I remember that I think I got like the loudest yell because of the show that had only been on for a year. It got the biggest response from the audience, and I was like, whoa. And I remember telling him, I'm like, there might actually be some of these conventions. I think these people actually like us.
We can get picked up for a second.
Yeah, we might actually get a second season out of this. And then the second thing was that I was physically attacked by a young girl. I wasn't hurt. She just had an episode and literally came out of the crowd and legs wrapped around, arms around her head, and was just going in for a kiss. Luckily, I had my buddy there, who some of you all know, Jason Mans, who's a little larger than I am, and he just stuck a forearm in her chest.
It's instinct.
But she didn't like go to, she like slid slowly because she was double wrapped. Leave that alone. Just leave it alone, buddy.
I will say that a couple nights ago, I stayed at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin. My wife we took a vacation kind of thing. On my life, it's the first time since I really have known the show that I looked at Jen and I was like, I am 100% certain that this room is home. And that's fine. I mean it. You walk in and a light sort of flickers. Bulb must be out. I want to change the bulb. So I took the bulb out of one of the other lights and put it in, turned it on, and it was fine. And she's like, okay, I thought there was like, do you think this place is haunted? It started flickering. And I was like, you guys still watching my show, don't mess with me.
Hey, Joseph, in the wrong room, sucker.
I woke up at like 3 a.m. to pee or whatever. I woke, you wake up when your sleep cycle changes. I woke up for whatever reason, and someone was pulling the sheet on one side back to the other, and Jen was not Jen. All my life.
It was me. I was also over there underneath the table with the plug and the lamp going.
I think it was room 434 at Driscoll. I'll check and see what it is. I have the key thing. But, so that certainly to me, I was like, that's funny. And then I turned the TV on the next day and what was on? Minute ending, pretty cool. And it was a hotel TV where you turn it on, or you could be on channel 100. You turn it off, turn it back on, it goes to the menu, and it's like, Mario Lopez. So, instead of going to that, I went to Supernatural.
time where machines would have been. But one thing remains the same. This world, come to an end. Season 37. Supernatural is still being beamed in your eyeballs. And it still shows. These next two people, please join me in saying hello to season 37 versions of Jared Padalecki and Jensen. All hail the future. All hail the future. Visitors from tomorrow, we greet you with open arms. You know Jensen, you know Jared. Also, clearly in the future, Jared's still wearing that hat, so we have that to look forward to. Jensen got better looking, and so did Jared. Is it just me?
Behaved quite well.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
You're welcome to my home, sir. How was your journey from the past?
Hi, everybody. I'm from Jensen. And this is Jared Padalecki. Thank you.
I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I know you're thinking that bringing people from the future back here has never been done before, but also, I've never had the future and the existing time join each other. I think it would be
I gotta say, if 37 seasons from now, Jensen and Jared looked like this, none of you would be here. Space dads.
J2.
That means both of us.
Don't hurry yourself.
It's much more difficult to do a kick slow motion. I just found that out. Why am I doing this? This is a horrible move.
Is he jumping? Like, where is he going with that? Thank you. You're gonna rip your pants again. Slow motion, do it.
At least I didn't do mine on camera.
Burn.
He's not lying. I ripped my jeans getting into a car yesterday. And it was like, okay, we're going to the airport. Nope.
And Tom's in the backseat going, where Uncle Jensen going?
Okay, so someone already asked about the 200th episode, but I was wondering, like, what was your favorite moment or song from the 200th episode?
I mean, yeah. It was good. It would carry on my wayward son. We weren't kidding. It was such a touching kind of dedication to the show, to you guys, to the crew's hard work, and sung so beautifully and so uniquely. that it was hard to stay in character, you know? It was hard to be like, okay, remember, this is Sam. Don't cry. Even though Sam cries. Sometimes.
Not as much as Dean.
Yeah, not as much as
Dean never cries. Dean doesn't cry. His face leaks. That's all it is. Just a leaky face.
a single man tear. Just one single man tear after another.
Just one-eyed technicians to, teach me the way and make sure that I didn't mess up.
For everything else, he relies on his asset. His asset. His
10 years.
Going on 11, brother. Going on 11.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was good.
Guys.
Something's going on with can I give you a hand? You need some help there?
It worked. That's the strangest
wardrobe.
thing I've ever had.
Wardrobe. Can we? Okay. Yeah. He
Lost
loses
my
his
shoe.
shoe quite a bit.
Here's a funny story. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I hadn't really officially moved to Los Angeles. I still was going to go to UT, but I had a job. I had a 4-episode guest star on Gilmore Girls and a job on ER. I was a guest star on ER for 1 episode. And I think I was still 17 years old. I was staying like in a subleased apartment that I couldn't sign for myself. My agent had to co-sign with me because I wasn't of age yet. And I go and I do this episode of ER, and I was in a car accident, so they put blood all over my face. And I didn't really know at this point in time that you could go to the makeup trailer and be like, hey, can you wash my face, please? So I just like, oh, it's time to go home. It was a wrap. And so I'm driving home. I'm driving home, and this guy, and this doesn't occur to me. This guy, I'm stopped at the front of the WB lot, and it's a crosswalk. And so y'all are me facing this guy, just walking across the street. He goes, and keeps walking. And it doesn't occur to me that I have anything on my face. And I'm like, I hate this place. People give me dirty looks for no reason. I was heartbroken, I swear. I was like, people are a-holes in this town, man. I've been there for like a week, and I lived 3 miles from the studio, which in LA takes about 45 minutes to drive. And so for the drive, I'm sitting there and I'm bummed. I'm truly bummed. I'm like, why did people just give me dirty looks? I didn't do anything to anybody. I wasn't in the crosswalk. And finally I get upstairs and I'm like, this place is, He thought I had been in like a massive car accident because I had blood, glass bits.
And he just keeps walking. Like, oh wow, that guy is really hurt. I'm gonna let somebody else handle that.
It was you.
Let me just sit down. Bring her.
Where?
Right
Yeah.
there.
Come here. You have a question for us?
All right, guys, I need a little last question.
I need a last question music here.
Last question of the band.
Question.
It's the last question!
Last question. Last question of the panel. It's the last question of the panel. Oh, the last question of the panel. Here's the call.
Jensen, that's the funniest bit you do. That's my favorite bit you do.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
The last
That's like the Santa Claus dance.
Now listen, we've all been having a good time, but this fun's over. It's time for the last question of the panel. There's a lot of pressure here because there's a lot of questions that didn't get answered, and whatever she asked better embody everyone's thoughts, feelings, hopes, and dreams. So without further ado, what's your name, young lady?
Raylene.
Really?
I was gonna guess that. Here she goes with the last question. As Satchmo said.
Brianna, please tell me you're recording this with your phone.
Brianna's here?
That was your question?
That's my sister. She's also a singer.
Hi.
Pretty cool. Okay, damn, I can't even think. Okay, so y'all have been working together for so long and you constantly have to call each other Sam and Dean on the show. I was wondering if in real life, like, that ever accidentally happens. Like, is that a thing? I think that's a pretty damn good question.
It is a good question.
Yeah, hey, let's not get cocky over there on this last question of the panel.
I don't think that ever happens with you and I.
It's never happened. I mean, it's probably happened to Dean a few times, but it's never happened to me. I've never done it.
It certainly happens with our producers, our writers, our directors. I've even gotten it from a few crew guys.
Call us by our character name.
Who call us by our character name? Yeah, who've literally called us by our character's name for 10 years.
Well, I have a few times, it's happened the opposite for me. There was like a plucky penny whistle where I'm supposed to run out. I was like, Jensen! I'm going to go do that again! Dean! So, it's happened.
You know
and
what?
Then, provenance.
Yes, there is, and I think you guys know this, there is an episode somehow made it to air where I say Jared.
What?
I call him Jared. Yeah.
It's in the
And it
background.
made it to air.
He's walking through, like, it's a shot of me, and he was supposed to be like, Sam, look at this. But he's like, Jared, look at this.
And it's in the show.
And
It's our crack editing team.
You mean the editing team on crack?
he's on that. That was a damn good
Thank you very much for coming up here.
You know, like the music,
Last question.
he hugs you long, this is the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this means Houston will say good afternoon to Mr. Jensen and Jerry. Oh yeah, it happened, and you were here to see it, Houston. First time in your town. We'll be back.
Just on vacation far away. Go around talking over.
Dean. Dean. Blade. You lied to me.
It's not the first time today. Kane's list. You weren't on it. Shane, you did it.